And these are 4 reasons why you should start investing in the stock market today. What's up everyone, David here with Free to Be, and thank you for joining me for today's video. Now today I want to cover 4 reasons you should start investing in the stock market if you aren't doing so already. Now make sure you stick around for the whole video because at the end I'm going to share with you 2 reasons why you shouldn't be investing in the stock market and 2 things you need to look out for before you start your investment portfolio. Now as always, if you are new to my channel, I cover financial literacy here in an effort to track my progress to financial independence, and hopefully by doing that I'm creating valuable content for others to use on their financial journey as well. So if you haven't done so already and you are new to the channel, please take a moment and just click the subscribe button down below. I really do appreciate the support and it really does help the channel grow. All right, so investing in the stock market, right? How do you know it's time? What do you need to do? And what are 4 reasons that you should start doing that today? Well, the first and probably most important reason you should be doing this is to build a nest egg for your retirement. Look, if you're only counting on Social Security income to carry you through your retirement years, that's probably not a good idea. In fact, right now, I think payments are somewhere around $1,500, the average payment per month per person who is collecting Social Security, which comes out to about $18,000 a year on average. And that's just not enough to sustain a livable lifestyle, right? When you have to pay for costs like medical bills and anything else that comes along as we age, $1,500 a month is not going to cut it. So what you should be looking to do instead is to aggressively invest in the stock market and do it through accounts that are beneficial to you, 401ks, Roth IRAs, and if you need to, just invest generally, because again, this is money that's going to grow, right? The stock market, stock prices, these have historically been things that are on the rise and will continue to do that, unless something crazy and catastrophic happens. It's a great place to put your money long term. Now, with that said, make sure you do your diligence and don't just freely invest randomly in whatever you think is going to be the next big fad, but make sure you actually do the research and look into the companies before you invest in them. And so really the sooner you begin this process, the more you will accumulate over time. So if you haven't done so already, get started today. Now the second reason to start investing in the stock market is you're going to give yourself a chance to retire early. Look, depending on how the market performs and how much money you're putting away early on, you might be fortunate enough to amass enough of a retirement nest egg to be able to call it quits from your full-time job sooner than you thought. And what that ultimately means is that you're going to be a little bit more financially independent and secure, so you can scale back from that 9 to 5, start working part-time, maybe consulting on the side, not be as aggressive when it comes to investing for your retirement because you've built a sizable nest egg. So make sure you're investing early, make sure you're investing often, and watch your money grow. Now the third reason to invest in the stock market is because you're going to give yourself a chance to live a better life, especially as you age. If again you've amassed a nice and sizable retirement nest egg, something that you are going to be able to really live and sustain a life on after you're done working full time, then as you continue to work, maybe a few more years after you've built this retirement nest egg, maybe you're not ready to retire quite yet, you can put that aside and you can start allocating your money elsewhere. Now this could be things like start splurging on, fancier vacations. Maybe you want to buy a fancier car. Maybe you want to spend more money on upgrading your current home. Maybe you want to buy a vacation home. Maybe you want to help put your kids through school. Maybe you want to help your parents who are older and need some assistance that way. But basically you freed up enough income and have already built a retirement nest egg that you can kind of freely do what you want to do with this extra money that is coming in now. It doesn't really have a need or a purpose. You don't really necessarily have to save it anymore. You've got enough in savings and you can start playing around and really enjoying your life. And that's ultimately really what it's all about, right? Yes, I could go and buy a $70,000 car today, but I think I'd be better suited to put that $70,000 in my investments, and then 10, 15, 20 years from now, then I can go and splurge on a $70,000 car. Maybe I'll buy myself a $150,000 sports car at that point. But if I built enough of a retirement income and put that aside, then I feel a little bit more comfortable spending and splurging on myself. And the fourth reason you're going to want to start investing in the stock market now is because you're not really only going to be improving your life in the long term. You're going to be improving the life of the loved ones around you, your family, your kids, any relative that's relies on you for support of any sort. You're going to be improving their lives. For example, just by investing early enough, you're setting a pretty good example for your children, for the next generation. Maybe you can teach them as you're going along, show them the ropes, show them how you're choosing what to invest in, what to look for in companies. It can be both a bonding and educational experience for them and really help set them up. And then also, if you don't end up using all of the money you set aside on your retirement and you do pass, you'll leave a sizable chunk of money for the next generation, for a spouse, for your children, for your parents, for whoever you leave behind. So ultimately, you're really giving yourself an opportunity to not only improve your life, but the life of everyone around you as well. So why not start investing right now? And again, I do want to clarify that before you start investing, make sure you do your research. If you need to speak to someone, a financial advisor, look them up and contact them. Try to get as much advice, try to read up as much as you can about the different companies you want to invest in, because again, it is risky, right? There is inherent risk with investing in the stock market, but if you do it the right way and if you're smart about it, you will be able to, realize actual gains long term. Now, in the beginning of the video, I did mention that there is 2 reasons that you shouldn't start investing today, and I want to go over those right now. So the first reason you shouldn't start investing is if you are in debt. And no, I don't mean like you have a mortgage or student loans and you shouldn't start investing. Low interest debt is fine. That's kind of like good debt. That's safe debt to carry. I'm talking if you have any kind of high interest credit card debt or high interest loans, you want to make sure you pay those off first, because those interest rates will kill you as well long term. Any kind of gain that you realize over the next 5 or 6 years, as long as you are carrying credit card debt or any kind of high interest debt, that's basically going to cancel out those gains. So the first priority for you should be to pay off those debts and make sure you can start clean, or as clean as possible. Again, obviously, if you have a mortgage or low rate student loans, that's fine. You can carry those along with you until those get paid off over time. But any kind of high interest loan or credit card, you should really focus on paying that off before you start investing. And the rule of thumb I use is anything that has an interest rate over 6 or 7%, you want to make sure to pay that off first before you start investing in the stock market. And the second reason that you should avoid investing right now is if you don't have any kind of cash emergency fund set aside. Now, a lot of people make the mistake of thinking, hey, if I start investing, I can just go ahead and liquidate those investments, if I need them, if an emergency comes up. But that's actually not a good approach to investing, because what happens if the emergency arises when the market's down? You're going to end up losing some money by cashing those investments out. Or what happens if you need the funds tomorrow and it actually takes 2 or 3 days to settle the funds that you would get from, liquidating your assets and your investments? You're not going to have the money in time. So make sure you have a cash reserve, a cash emergency fund in place. And I've talked about this plenty of times on my channel. An emergency fund is so key to financial success and ultimately financial independence. So try your hardest to build a 6-month reserve before you start borrowing for other things, before you start investing or approaching any kind of other financial obligation. Build yourself a nice sizable cash reserve just for emergencies, and it'll really ultimately give you a good peace of mind and just make you feel a little more comfortable about your financial position. All right, guys, well, that's all I had for this video. Have you started investing in your future? Let me know in your comments down below if you have. If you haven't, let me know why you haven't done so. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, please take a moment and just click the subscribe button down below, and we'll see you next time.